Hello, hello, what's going on? I'm Rascal Dragon here alongside my co-caster here, what to and today we're going to be showing off a little here. So we have the boys versus ongoing here. Introduce this to us.
On the blue side, we've got the Spank Boys, as I was told last time to introduce them. We've got Swiggly Diggly up in the top lane on the set. We've got the Alpha in the jungle on that Nocturne. Gif in the mid lane on Orianna. Kokomo Breezy on ADC on that Tristana. And rounding it out, M-Love in the bot lane on the Alistar.
On the spawn point side, we have we have on the right side spawn point.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Zister. I feel like that is the plan. So it's not Zister. On the top lane, jungle, we got that's jungle. Mid lane, we got
Looks like we've just got a standard 5-point defense from our boys on spawn point. Looks like the Spank Boys were looking for some kind of possible early action there, but no dice happening yet. So right now, just a very standard start. Looks like we've got just pretty even all around. No exciting summoners or rune choices to talk about. Set is not a champion that we've seen too often recently. He's been definitely sitting more on the sidelines.
yeah. Let's see. Hopefully my I need to change my Discord mic as well.
It sounds like you're coming through clear now, so I think we should be all set.
Okay, I just switched over both my microphones, turned off my microphone program there, so it's just regular software. Should be all good. Yep, there we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, we have so just repeating that spawn points over on the red side, but yeah, just seeing regular laning phase sort of things like you were talking about. Just both of them starting on the bot side, getting a good leash, and then pathing up top side. So we might see a little bit of a fight for the Scuttle Crab, or at the very least, maybe some action top side of the map here soon.
Yeah, I think just with the Trundle having that press the attack, I would have to expect that he's going to have a little bit of a stronger advantage in the 1v1, just depending on who gets to that Scuttlecraft first, who has the vision advantage. But if there is a fight, we'll have to also see the lanes roam, all sorts of setup that'll need to happen.
Yeah. What's so super interesting to me at the very point, the Alpha decided to opt in for the Conqueror on the Nocturne here instead of the very typical that we see is the Lethal Tempo, just because of that so much extra attack speed works really well with your passive when you're playing Nocturne. And after you get that Fear off, you just get free autos in. So I'm surprised that he opted in for the Conqueror rather than the Lethal Tempo here. So I'll have to be on the lookout for that to see if they'll actually get a payout on that.
Yeah, the Conqueror is definitely something that is set up much more for being like gore drinker, bruiser, team fighty style of champion as opposed to the 1v1 duelist assassin style. We do see both junglers on the top side of the map. Nocturne spotted out on a ward. It looks like Victor's getting the first rotation up from the mid lane. Alpha getting caught out by the frozen pillar. Swiggly Diggly getting the rotate in, supporting his jungler. Zister getting these auto attacks in. Alpha just needing to walk away here, and it looks like with Victor rotating up and Orianna not there yet, Alpha taking a little bit of extra damage, forced to flash away. Good positioning from Kamansi. That is just going to be Trundle being able to secure that topside scuttle and take the flash away from the Alpha.
Yeah, really nicely done there. Looks like he just didn't have the necessary pressure in order to really go for that top lane Scuttle Crab. If they had a little bit of early game revision, or just, you know, trying to sense it out a little bit more, maybe they could have known that Trundle started bot side, so then he would be going for the top side Scuttle, so then maybe we can just path towards the bot side just to grab that one instead. We're not waste too much time, because now he has to go back. He is down on a little bit of gold since he didn't get that Scuttle Crab there. That is, I think at this point in the game, about 70 to gold, which is still a substantial amount. Gives him a heal, so, and he's also picking up the second Scuttle Crab too, so he's going to have quite a back whenever he does go back.
Yeah, Nocturne getting double scuttled, not a great start for him, but we have to talk about also the advantages that the mid lane was able to get. Kamansi not only forcing the flash out, but he was able to get the first rotation because Orianna was super low on mana in lane, couldn't walk up along with clearing the wave. Victor just using a little bit of that extra early game power from the Corrupting Potion, as opposed to the Doran's Ring, to make sure that rotate could happen and get that double scuttle for his jungler.
Yeah, Really nicely played out. Just good communications, which is what you kind of expect from a team that's currently 2-0 with spawn point on this end. On the opposite end, we do see that the Spink Boys are currently 0-2, but it's not necessarily have been full-on stomps. They have been putting up a pretty good fight so far, but we'll just have to see maybe if their team communication works out a little bit better here, and maybe making some of the right plays, go correctly. We'll see. Maybe they can pick up their first one in this series, but we'll have to see.
Wiggly Diggly just looking for a light trade on the top side, but Zister taking it back with a grass proc, just trading those health bars back and forth. Zister does have the Doran's Blade as opposed to the Doran's Shield, so his regen, as that boomerang goes off to Narnia, his regen is going to be a bit more active as opposed to Sets, which is a lot more passive.
Yeah, and which is going to be a little, I mean, it's going to play a part in this laning phase definitely, but we do see Alpha is in the area looking to make a gank happen. You do have a ward on that bush, so we do see that he's right there. Dropping control ward as well, so they know that he spotted out at the very least. So yeah. Nothing happening topside, but maybe if Zister as just out of sight, out of mind, kind of just keeps pushing into Swiggly Diggly while Alpha is in that top lane bush.
Yeah, lots of eyes going top lane, but no real blood being drawn just yet. I'm a bit surprised that we haven't seen more pressure on the bottom side of this map. Ashe Morgana, a really easy lane to gank for, both of them having such easy follow-up crowd control. And with how Tristana and Alistar have been pushing up, maybe now's the time. We see Rosebuds looking to position for it. Tigger Roosh going over the walls. We also have a trade up on the top side.
Yeah.
Showstopper goes down on the Swiggly Diggly. Zister forced to flash away, but Swiggly Diggly gets the flash in for the first blood. In the meantime, on the bot side, Kokomo Breezy looking to trade back onto Rosebuds. No summoners burn from the side of the spawn point just yet, but Mlove was forced to use his flash while we were watching that top lane fight.
Yeah, he did use that flash. We do know that just because he has the Hex Flash available right now. So we're going to be wondering if they're going to do another repeat gank here. Dragon has spawned up, so we're going to be looking for, fighting for a little bit of control on that end, seeing that Scuttlecrab will be going over to Tigger Roosh here, so they already have a little bit of advantage on that front. And we'll have to see if it really pays out any dividends just so far, or we're just going to be getting out a little bit more money.
Yeah, you can see how Mlove is positioning back here, not wanting to step too far forward, knows that he doesn't have the flash, and if Morgana lands a binding, that ease just a kill on him, probably even through the Tristana heal. Something to note on that gank, when Tigger Roosh came down, there was only one summoner burned from the Spank Boys bot lane. Kokomo managing to hang on to both of his flash and his heal, which I think is really important to stave off the threat of being reganked.
Absolutely, and I'm sure once ever the Alpha reaches that level 6 point where Nocturne really has a good spike whenever he can do a lot of his gains, we're going to be seeing a lot more action, I want to say, on this bot side, just because you have the Alistar combo and a follow-up by the Tristana. It just makes
good
it really
engage
easy.
By Mlove. Abigor forced to flash the way. The Ignite's going down onto Mlove, but he does get healed up by Kokomo. Black Shield is on Abigor. Kokomo looking for his way in. A good heal from Abigor means he's going to be able to walk away. But in the meantime, we've also got to fight in the mid lane. Kamansi throwing down the Death Ray and all the damage onto Gift, but he's just going to be able to walk away just to trade a health bars. Looks like he actually canceled Gift's teleport with the ulti. Really good presence of mind to know that that does cancel it out.
Yeah, really nicely done on that front. And it's like with all this... close.
Ash Arrow lands.
Yeah, Lance not going to be resulting in any sort of kill on that end. But it is delaying their dragon just by a little bit, so if we look over on the top side of the map there, Tigger Roosh is doing a pretty smart play where rather than trying to contest going bot side and probably being there too late by the time the dragon is already finished, he's already opting in to go for top side, grab the Scuttle Crab, or not Scuttle Crab, but the big one, the Herald, in order to try to make something happen topside, since we know it's missing.
Alpha looking for his way in, just deletes Abigor off the map, staying up a little bit too far. I'm assuming not realizing that Nocturne hit that level 6 mark. But in the meantime, Tigger Roosh is up here in the top side of the map, popping the Rift Herald. I think they're just going to be able to siege this tower down fully with the wave coming in. Yeah, I think this will just be first tower blood for the spawn point side.
And that is a beautiful way of using the Rift Herald right there. We all... I don't know if everyone knows, but the Rift Herald always does at least 2 plates worth of damage, no matter what, just because it does true damage. So, with that knowledge, you want to try to get the turret at least around half-ish points, maybe a little bit if you want to, a little bit lower so you can get that at 3 plates, and then you drop in the Rift Herald. So then when it gets its charge up, you get the full tower out, so you get all the value out of it. And you get, open up a lot more areas for your team to really look for. And with the top side taken down here, we can look for a second Rift Herald once that spawns up here in about 5 minutes, or creating just a little bit additional pressure, seeing that now Zister has a lot more free reign in order to roam into other areas.
Yeah, there is a lot of give and take with this kind of play. While Zister is going to be a lot more freed up to walk around the map and make these plays happen with that Narbar, it does mean that Swiggly Diggly, if he manages those waves properly, can just sit under that second tier tower, or at least close to that, get a lot of farm back, start farming up those items, and can become a real big powerhouse in the late game, denying a lot of XP and gold away from Zister. So it's going to be how they start to swing this gold lead around. It's only nearing 1,000 right now, but if they can start to accelerate it, the Spank boys can start to get in a lot of trouble.
And it's going to be really important in order to note if they are able to capitalize on anything like that. But it does look like Swiggly Diggly is instead just going to be pushing out the wave and seeing if he can do anything else on the other side of the map, just roaming up a little bit since he knows he can't really do anything right now. Top side, he's going to see if he can bring a little bit more pressure in other lanes, maybe see if he can do anything about that. But we'll have to see if they really can get, find anything of note. Swiggly Diggly walking past the ward a second time, realizing it, and actually takes it out this time. So they won't be able to easily spot out his roam next time, at least.
Finally spots out the pink board, but otherwise we have a pretty passive game overall. Definitely not what we were expecting going into it based on the matches we've had prior. And especially with the comp setup, I'm surprised that there hasn't been a lot more action around the bottom side, but I suppose both of these teams are happy saying, yeah, we've got our bot lane mid to late game scaling carries. We're happy to let them just farm up and get as much gold and XP as they want.
Yeah, and then speaking about farm, I do want to point out, Gif is doing a really good job at farming. He's almost at perfect CS here. 110, 111 CS around 11 minutes. That's practically 12 minutes, so it's like almost there, 9 off away from perfect CS. So really nicely done. I mean, farming up is a really important thing, so he can get his power spikes sooner. Once he gets his first item, he can probably start all-inning a little bit more against this Victor, and then once we get the 2-item power spike that we typically see mid lane mages, or just mages in general, when we see that power spike kick in, it's going to be really important to see how that's going to shape up this mid game here. But first, an ulti.
Alpha looking for his way onto Abigor again. A good Black Shield needs the fear is going to be denied. M-Love looking for his way into the fight. Tigger Roosh in the meantime just tanking up on the front line. Rosebuds picks up the kill onto the Alpha with the Ignite. Now M-Love in a spot of trouble, has the Unbreakable Will on. But Kamansi is looking for the dive onto Kokomo, takes him out, but now he's tanking tower. The Ignite from M-Love is going to take him out in return, but it is a 3-for-1 in favor of Spawn Point.
Yeah, 3-for-1 including some tower plates as well, so it's going to be a little important, but they're looking for a tower dive as well.
Gets caught out by the binding. Good Black Shield means the Tigreesh is going to be able to walk out of there, but he's tanking one shot too many, and he does get taken out, but Abigor picks up the kill on the Gift, and in the meantime, a fight up on the top side. Zister pops that Gnar bar, but now Swiggly Diggly flashing after him, gets that last auto attack, unstoppable, by the way, Zister goes down.
Yeah, and it looks like now the game is definitely, it swung a little bit here over for the side of Spawn Point. They're down in kills for sure, and they lost out on that top side, but I mean, your bot lane is 2-1, or your ADC is 2-1, while your support managed to pick up a kill there as well. Kamatsu broke out a little bit from that mid lane, got a kill for himself as well, so he's forming his way into the game as well. So right now seeing pretty good power spikes, especially with the ADC already on the first item. Typically we see ADCs at that 3-item power spike, but regardless, that Practice Slayer is gonna be hurting when we go into these a little bit more smaller skirmishes in any case.
Yeah, with the Mountain Dragon spawning up, it looks like Spawn Point is going to have the priority on it. And it seems like Spank Boys are just going to let that one go. Let the Dragons trade 1-for-1, and we'll see what kind of soul we're in the mood for today.
Yeah, we will have to see. It looks like it's going to be an Ocean Rift if we look a little bit to the right, and
Oh, Kokomo, good sidestep on the Dark Binding, but the Ash Arrow lands and Kokomo's taken out. Alpha looking for his way back into the fight. Doesn't land the fear onto Tigger Roosh, and he's just going to walk away, pop the Subjugate onto M-Love, make sure there's no re-engage. Now we've got Zister teleporting in, maybe Spawn Point looking for a dive on this tower. I think Spank Boys have to respect this and back off and just give away the second tower of the game.
Yeah, if we look over at Zister, he teleported in with nearly full Rage Bar, so you knew So it was a really smart play for them in order to back off there, thinking there's like possibly Resistor having that full rage bar, he can just easily jump in, get a 3-man knock into this wall, and then followed it up by Rosebuds hitting that ulti and just wombo comboing themselves out of the game here. So really nice of them that they pulled back, but really well executed by Spawn Point here in order to take down that bot tower. They were looking for the dive, and unfortunately weren't able to pick it up, so the TP will be wasted, but in any case, a tower is a tower.
Yeah, I think that was really well played by Zister, because he's not doing too hot in the lane. 20 CS down, 0-2. Not having the best time into the set matchup, but he's still playing Gnar. He still has access to that Gnar, where he can toss all those enemy champions either into the wall or into his team. He can still be impactful without a lot of the economy that other champions like Victor and Ashe need to be putting out that damage. He can still just be a frontline tank without having access to all of that gold and that experience. So I think even though he's behind right now, he's still using his teleports well. He's getting himself out onto the map and trying to affect and help his team as much as possible. Really well played by him.
Yeah, absolutely. We do see that they are rotating onto objectives as well, so really getting a lot of use that they are 5-stacking. I will criticize at the very least that since they are 5-stacking, they lost out that mid tower. They didn't necessarily need all 5 of them in order to do that Rift Herald there. They could have sent someone top lane to deal with that wave, and then someone mid lane to wave clear as well. And then maybe just had 2 people on the Herald there. But in any case, they are able to secure the Herald there very safely in any case, which I will give them that. It was a very safe Herald take, but they did manage to lose out mid tower and return all of that. So really nicely done by Spank Boys in order to look on that end, but we'll have to see if, you know, maybe we can still find our way back into this game here. We're not terribly far away. I've been talking about, like, it's, you know, a detriment or anything like that. We're still pretty close in. It's only 2k gold lead in favor of Spawn Point here. So that's not even like a full item. That's still split apart from 5 people. The main things to really worry about here is, like, I mean, we have Albagore who had finished up the item, looking to build in that Wits and Nest. But after, you know, besides that, it's not too bad.
Yeah, the only real difference here is in Mythics. We don't have a Mythic on the bot laners of the Spank Boys side, but we do not have a Mythic on the mid or the top side for Spawn Points. So we just got a bit of a Mythic differential, but it's about evened out. It's just about where the gold is right now. Kokomo looking for a way in, jumping into the Victor. Good Black Shield means he's going to be able to stay alive. A good dodge out on the Ashe arrow. Alpha pops the Paranoia just to make sure he can walk out safely. That's going to be Gift teleporting in. Good defensive use of the Paranoia means that Spawn Point is not going to be able to walk up any further.
Yeah, really good use. Alongside with the teleport here, Orianna using that TP means that they can try to wave clear a little bit better here, but the Herald is going to be dropped down in the mid lane, so we're seeing the NA ramming, but we're actually going to get some stuff out of it at the very least here with the Rift Herald charge going through. We'll try to go for a second one, but I don't believe they really want to since all 5 are now in the mid lane.
Yeah, I think just taking that tower, getting all 3 of those outer towers down, give themselves a bit more access to the jungle of Spank Boys. Good play by them. I do have to question Kokomo jumping in there a little on his own into Kamansi. I think that may have been just a bit of a confidence play, but he doesn't have the items to back it up just yet.
Yeah, he is down quite a bit of gold, at least comparatively to against Kamatsi, just because he's down a kill and also 20 about 20 CS, really 18. So it's, you know, there is a little bit of that differential, and then AP champions do have a pretty good time in order to do a lot of this stuff, especially because now he has his full mythic item. He has quite a bit of mana coming out from that tier, which is almost fully stacked. So once he builds into Archangels, going for the really strong power level for an item 2-item power spike whenever he does finish that Archangel staff into Sarah's Embrace.
Yeah, we seem to have as the item rework has sort of settled down, we're still like figuring out a lot of the quirks of it. I think we're gonna have to talk about that point later, as we've got both teams saddling up 5 people for this dragon fight, looking to grab that advantage. Good dark binding onto Gif. Nocturne pops the Paranoia, looking for his way into the fight, but they're not going to engage it, just going to use it to get advantage into the pit. Spank Boy starting up the dragon. Swiggly Diggly taking a lot of damage. A good haymaker. He gets the showstopper, but he's killed in mid-air. Zister looking for a double kill here. Love looking for his way into the fight. A good frozen pillar is going to keep Kokomo in there. A great Narbar into the wall is going to keep him down. A triple kill given over to Zister, and Kamanti picking up the 4th. A 4-for-0 in favor of Spawn Point.
Yeah, and this is why, a little bit of why Swan Point has been so dominating so far. Their team fight play has been really solid there. Even though they saw the Nocturne ult, they decided, okay, let's back up a little bit because they see that Spank Boys has such a very fast comp. One engage really start a lot of the devolving, where then you see an Alistar coming in with the Orianna ball, and then Orianna ulti pops in, and then you also see Set jumping in. So slowing down a little bit of that all-in rush potential dive that they have, and just go in, it's like, alright, we stopped on alternate ulti by backing up a little bit here. Now, for the next engage, we'll just focus him down as fast as possible, which Swiggly did. Like, he looked for an ulti, but he just immediately got deleted out of it. Like, didn't even finish the full ulti to get the damage off. And then M-Love unable to really, or was able to get in there with the Orianna ball and get some good damage in, but we didn't have the rest of the members there available in order to really get in there, try to stop some of these backliners, and managed to get a lot of kills over for Zister there. So now gold lead solidly 5k in the lead, which that's a total of a 1 mythic item, and then like a BF sword worth of stats across these 5 members, which is pretty substantial if you want to think about it in that sort of sense. Now that everyone is going to be pretty much up to par for their first mythic item, except for the bot laners of Spank Boys.
Yeah, definitely really well played by Spawn Point. Swiggly Diggly maybe in a little bit of trouble here. Zister looking for his way in. A great Gnar to pull him back. Swiggly Diggly gets the flash away, but with the pillar and the Gnar wall up, he is going to be taken out. Good showstopper to get himself back. It's the Gore Drinker healing, is stalling for this as long as possible, trying to get his team a chance to rotate up, but they are just not in range.
And it's really unfortunate on that end. He's just trying to farm up here so he can get a little bit strong in that end, but he's so pushed up forward, he doesn't really have a lot of safety in order to get to whenever someone does show up. Tower's already over at tier 2 at pretty much every lane except for mid lane, who's all the way at the inhibitor, so not a lot of places to run to that you can really consider safe on the side of Spank Boys. There's still a lot of ways in order to get back into this game here, since, like I said, they have a very fast, full dive sort of team over on the side of Spank Boys, but they need the damage in order to follow it up. So once Gift finishes up this second item, Archangel's Staff into Seraph's Embrace, once he builds in, and it upgrades just because he's over at the mats already. Once he builds into that upgrade, he'll, we're going to see a pretty substantial power spike. But seeing the stopwatch and the Amplifying Tome, this also could say that he's looking to maybe delay that and look for a Zonier's Hourglass to stay alive in this fight a little bit longer.
Yeah, like I was going to go into before the dragon fight, as the item rework has sort of settled down and people have gotten more used to the items, we seem to have settled, for the mages at least, into 2 schools of thought, where you have either your Mana Mythic plus a Seraph plus a Rabadon's if you want that maximum amount of AP on 3 items, just that big, like, 700, 750, depending on your rune choice. Looking for that just large power spike, or you can go for CDR, like with Cosmic Drive, with the Zanyas, plus your Mythic, just look for more ability spamming as opposed to just hitting like a truck with a couple of abilities.
Yeah, which are 2 pretty good schools of thought, especially for Orianna. Not going to say no for more ability haste onto that ulti, but I am just going to argue for the front of that with the CDR build, that is more so, you're playing for the extended fights, you're looking for, multiple ability casts versus the burst one where, we're looking for just that one big wombo combo, which is where we're kind of playing for with this team comp from Spank Boys. Like I said, it's really rush in, dive heavy sort of comp, especially with the Tristana, Alistar, Nocturne. Even Set has really good dive in itself just because of that showstopper.
Yeah, I do like that GIF is just holding on to the stopwatch as that defensive tool. Going to still opt in to try and get that Seraphs completed as soon as possible. We see Kamansi doing the same thing, just without the stopwatch, holding on to his corrupting potion for a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, still getting some good value out of that. He has blue buff right now, so he doesn't necessarily need the mana, per se. But whenever he doesn't have that blue buff, just popping a Corrupting Pot so you get a nice chunk of mana during a team fight is always going to be pretty helpful. Getting a lot of good value out of it when you don't have to sell it just yet. Speaking of team fights, we are seeing that dragon spawning up here in about 30 seconds, so we could potentially see one coming up.
Yeah, this seems to be the style of the game. Both of these teams really liking these AoE skirmishy team fights, so both of them are looking to fight around these objectives, around the dragon. It's just a matter that Spawn Point has the gold lead at the moment, so it's going to be a lot easier for them to set up early, get the vision control like we're seeing now, and to take their gold leads into these fights. You see Swiggly teleporting in Looks like Spank Boys are going to try and contest this one more time. They have all of their cooldowns up. They've got the Orianna ball delivery systems. It's just a matter of looking for their way in. There goes the Paranoia pop. Alpha getting in. In the meantime, Tigger is going to smite it. Great jump in from Swiggly Diggly, and a good Orianna ball means that 2 are going to get picked out. That's Rosebud's immediately dead. Alpha looking for his way in. A great Ash Arrow is going to keep Swiggly Diggly slowed down for a little bit longer. Abigor still looking almost untouched on this sideline, just able to pump out the DPS. Give a little bit low. He is going to be taken out by Zister, and it was looking good at the start, but it looks like Spank Boys are going to be taken out. That is an ace for spawn point, only losing Rosebuds in the process.
Yeah, really well played there, even though Rosebuds did end up falling on that just because of the initial burst from GIF. They played that fight really well. Abigor did a good job of hiding away and stopping a lot of this push. Tigger doing a good job at being that little really disruptive sort of, you know, I don't want to necessarily say supports jungler, but he, you know, Trundle has been seen in playing that support role just because of how good that pillar is, being really disruptive, really stopping them in order from making any sort of these plays, getting on top of their ADCs like that, and then Zenith just doing a great job at just focusing down on GIF and Kokomo Breezy at the very end, where they really, you know, they can't do enough damage over this to the Zister right now. Just, I mean, we have Divine Thunder on top of Boots doing a really good job at tanking up as well as Mega Gnar, so really hard to break through him, able to take up those 2 kills here.
Yeah, we were talking about earlier how the Zister was going 0-2-0 in lane. Now he's 4-2-5. He's really pulled his lane ahead and is looking really strong in this game. Has landed a couple of really clutch Gnar ultis that have helped his team secure these fights. I do have to give praise to Spawn Point's positioning in these team fights, having these really strong frontliners of Trundle and Gnar able to zone away. Even if GIF lands a really good 2-man ulti and is able to absolutely burst out one of the members of Spawn Point immediately, it's still not a team fight win for them. They need to look for that miracle fight where they find Abigor or Kamonsi, or hopefully both of them, caught out of position, and they can just pop them quickly before the fight can even really start.
Yeah, but we'll have to see how Spank Boys are really going to try to find their way back into this. I mean, from now, like, analyzing that little team fight, I do want to point out that Alpha Cracker, he is a little bit, you know, hesitant with his ultis. He does pop them and he does go in with some of them. But with some of them, I do disagree that he's not necessarily like diving into the backline trying to be really disruptive. He's not very tanky at this point, so I will give him that he will, you know, probably feels like he will just get instantly melted down by this 5-1 Abigor right now. But sometimes you need to get that little bit of disruption in these fights, because this Sweetly Diggly was in there pretty much alone on that end, trying to deal with Abigor and Rosebuds and all of them. So it's a little something to, you know, think about in these team fights here, being a little bit more sure about who we're going for our target, since the last team fight seemed a little bit broken.
Abigor throws the arrow. He finds Swiggly Diggly under it. The Dark Binding as well. Looks like he's going to be taking out a great Haymaker to land a bunch of damage. Maybe they can look for a re-engage. Kokomo takes the Dark Binding. Now Alpha's looking for the back line. A good stopwatch from Rosebuds is going to keep him alive. Zister looking really low, but he pops the Gnar bar, gets himself all that health back, and Abigor is just front-lining on this Ashe. He hit that 300 power spike, and he looks unkillable with the Wit's End. A double kill for him and an ace for Spawn Point.
That was really a lot of damage coming up from Abigor right there. 300 power spike, like you're talking about here on this Ashe with the Goonzos, the Woodset, and the Kraken Slayer just standing still and auto-attacking down GIF and Kokomo Breezy, who was not prepared to see the Ashe just flash over the wall and just start fighting at them. At that team fight there, I thought it was looking, you know, pretty good over for the side of Spank Boys, because, you know, you got a lot of CC coming out, but not enough damage to really finish it through. So it looks like this game will be going over to Spawn Point here. Congratulations. A solid 1100k gold lead and the win here.
Yeah, it did look like there was a chance for Spank Boys to come back in that fight. They had a lot of abilities burned onto the set. They had a lot of time for the Tristana to free hit, but she was still sitting on 1.5 items. She didn't have the DPS that was needed for her to really be a threat in these fights. They were really relying on Orianna, and just the impact wasn't there. It was a lot of the gold lead, and Abigor on the Ashe just able to face tank the bot laners of Spank Boys and just show them, hey, I'm a 3-item Ashe. I've got my Ginsus and my Kraken Slayer. You can't kill me. A sad game for the Spank Boys, but I think there were definitely some signs of hope, and I don't think they are too far out of it just yet. They're getting there.
Yeah, just some things to work on. Obviously, it's still pretty early on into the split, so you still have some time to get to figure out how your team synergies are really going to be working out here. But in any case, we'll be right back with our second game of tonight here, which is going to be Mingos V2 versus, I got to actually look for my announcement, Goon Gang. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with that game. Hello, hello. We're back. We just watched Spank Boys and Spawn Point just duke it out here. Spawn Point taking the victory on that end. Just because they had a little bit of better laning phase and, just won it out in the end on that. So, but mental reset. We're running on a different game now. We're looking over at the Mingos V2 versus Goon Gang. You want to introduce this blue side for us once again here, Brady?
On the blue side, we've got our Mingos V2, Alien Boy 42 in the top lane, rocking the Tom Kench, Jimothy Halper in the jungle on the Diana, Dongi Cheeks on the Malzahar, and Ariana Grande and Wolfie rounding it out in the bot lane on Xayah and Nautilus.
Wow, over on our Goon Gang, we have, on the red side, Goon Gang, we have Fisher Noah in the top lane playing playing the Irelia. Sorry, champion I hate anyway, so it's whatever. As a Xerath main, you know. But Luke in the jungle playing the Trundle, and then in mid lane we have Gliss playing the Cassiopeia. Over in the bot lane here we have Anime Nonstop and Broken System playing that Vayne and Galio. Interesting little 5-stack queue. Maybe checking to see if they want to do any invades because this is gold, and you'll be surprised how many invades level 1 invades that some teams just love to do.
Yeah, both teams looking for a little bit of early action, but neither one committing. It looks like we are going to be seeing once again both junglers standard start, just get that 2-man leash on the bottom side of the map. So far, it looks fairly stock standard. As I'm looking over all of the runes, summoner choices, everything looks fairly normal. You were talking about Aurelia earlier when we were running down our team comps. I have to be concerned about Aurelia because into a team that your main form of crowd control is Malzahar or Nautilus, one QSS means Aurelia could run out of control.
Yeah, that is something to be wary about. And I mean, Irelia into Tahm Kench, I feel like that could be a pretty good lane, just because first item Irelia tends to build a Blade of Rune King, or even if not building that, you would build like a Divine Sunderer, which is still pretty good at dealing with Tahm Kench. So I'll be interested to see that. And honestly, if Fish and Noah decides to, Serpent's Fang not a bad item on Irelia, and could definitely counter a Tahm Kench very well with this great health shield.
Yeah, we're already seeing very aggressive laning postures from everybody on the red side here. Fisher, Noah, and Gliss both stepping up very aggressively into their lane opponents, getting heavy favored trades for themselves.
Yeah, very heavy trades indeed. This is also a requested game here by, I believe, Luke. He asked for game 3, so I hope this is game 3, but we're looking for an engage.
The engage from Broken System lands at the top, but a good Q from Wolfie means he's going to be able to knock himself out of there. A great buffer on that to get himself away from the taunt.
Yeah, really nicely done. He saw that he didn't want to, he already burned Flash previously, or in that engage, but he didn't want to, get himself caught out, or at least try to save it a little bit sooner, so he did use that hook in order to get out of that taunt. So really nicely done on that, throwing it before that taunt finishes, since Broken System got a little greedy and tried to go for a full taunt. Still the right play, honestly, if Wolfie didn't think about grabbing that wall, but in any case, still good engage.
It's still a one flash. Still a 1 flash trade for 2. I think that's in favor of the Goon Gang, especially since now Luke knows that both the ADC and the support of the Mingos V2 don't have their flashes, means he can come down to a return gank.
Yeah, and for someone that's very immobile, like a Xayah, a Trundle Pillar is the perfect thing you want to set up for a bot lane gank here. And even if you're not necessarily looking for on just a Xayah, you can also go onto that Nautilus, who's kind of immobile.
Fisher Noah maybe in a bit of trouble. Good stun landing onto Jimothy Halpert. He's going to use the Q to reposition himself back towards his tower. And with no crowd control left, it looks like Fisher Noah is just going to be able to walk out of there. Good presence of mind to not burn his flash earlier to walk too far away. Just gets that Q and gets out of there.
Yeah, really nicely done. Kept calm. Go ahead and use his abilities to get out of there. Alien Boy does have the advantage, like health advantage, against this Fisher Noah here. But, I mean, we'll have to see if it really pans out to anything, or if it's just going to be a little bit of a safer laning phase that Fisher Noah has to look for instead of doing anything too aggressive. We'll wait for it until he builds that that Vampiric Scepter starting item that we see some Irelias opt in for, just because it's a really good start for her.
Yeah, I was going to say we're going to be able to tell what kind of Aurelia we're looking for just based off that starting item. That Vamp Scepter, you're looking more for the Blade of the Ruined King, the Immortal Shield Bow, those sort of on-hit builds. But if we possibly see a Phage, we could look for Divine Sunderer. If you're paying attention to the LPL at all, Duanbe has been playing a lot of Gore Drinker Aurelia, building into a more of a tank style with Randuins and more of these less fightery, more just straight-up beefcake items. It's an interesting style of build, and it's worked so far for him, so we'll have to see if that's the kind of thing we get to see this game. But it looks like Fisher Noah is just going to opt for those Mercury Treads, sees the magic damage from everybody on the top side of the map of Mingos, and just says, okay, let's buy a little bit of defense.
Yeah, really smart play on that end, not just off the, and also accounting for the CC that comes out of it, going ahead and finishing up those Merc Treads here. Another option I suppose you could also look for is a Wits End early on instead of opting in for a full-on Blade Rune King. You can often really dive in for the magic resist, since you just pointed out, yeah, top side of the map is very AP centric or magic damage centric, so going for Wits End early wouldn't be a bad idea either. So he really has like quite a few options in order to really go for this first item, wherever he wants to finish up after these boots.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the advantages of Aurelia right now. Just the flexibility of the champion in general. Her champion identity very much stays the same no matter what items you build. So your items can change very much dependent on the game. You're not like an 80 carry where you have to get your crit mythic first, and then you have to get your Berserker Greaves, and you have to find your, hopefully, a BF Sword follow-up item, stuff like that. Aurelia can just sort of mess around with the item shop and see what fits best. In the meantime, speaking of Aurelia, Alien Boy taking a very advantageous trade into Fisher Noah, forcing the flash away. Very aggressive from him.
Very aggressive indeed. Flashing away a little early on that end. He still had about, I want to say like 40-30% of his health bar left in order to try to keep going with his trade. He saw Alien Boy was stuck in the middle of the minion wave, so maybe that little bit extra damage would have made a difference too. If he decided to just keep walking and maybe use the minions to dodge Jeanette's Q coming up, since he had full taste stats. Acquired taste stats, there it is. Acquired taste of what it was. So it's a little interesting to see maybe if he could have saved that summoner spell, but I mean, not to get too greedy, just going to go ahead and blow it out. And not going to have it for the next gank here whenever Jimothy wants to go back up top lane. He's looking to at least grab his ulti first, I'm imagining, before before ganking Irelia once again, because it is really good at stopping dashes.
Yeah, Jimothy Halpert been farming very well. In the meantime, we've got another gank on the bottom side. Taunt landing onto Wolfie. No hook this time. Lands the hook in. A great root from Ariana Grande onto 3 people, but it is going to be first blood. Handed over to Anime Nonstop. Lands that condemned for the big burst of damage.
Yep. Well done on the gank there with Luke. Really, like we were talking about it earlier, how, take advantage of the flashless bot lane there. But this time they did have flashes, but it didn't really matter. They were really good engage coming out from Broken System, and Luke using that pillar to force out some flashes, and even still securing a kill over on Wolfie there, grabbing it for Anime Nonstop. So getting a Fed Vayne is going to be quite scary when it gets to the later parts of the game here, because there is a couple actual avenues that Vayne can go for if we want to go for a full-on hit build to really deal with this top Kench. Blade Rune King and Kraken Slayer as your sort of damage sources, or maybe we can opt in for a little bit, maybe something more on the side of like typical crit ADCs, where we're going to be seeing maybe like an Immortal Shield build. On top of that, we'll get like a IE and one crit item before the IE and then the IE.
Yeah, I do think it was a bit disrespectful from the Mingo's V2 bot lane. They played around it very early very well, using the flashes respectfully, but it felt like they were looking a bit too hard for the turnaround in the 2v3. It was a good route from Ariana Grande. Maybe if he's got a bit more, a few more items in his pocket, maybe a pickaxe or maybe just like another longsword on top of that, they can look for that turnaround, but there just isn't the damage yet for them, so they were able to, they were a little bit too disrespectful of the damage that the red team had, so they were taken out in that trade.
Yeah, so Goon Gang here just slightly ahead in about like a 600 gold lead here. Dragon spawning up here in about 2 more minutes since they already taken down that Windrake. Wolfie taking quite a bit of an early trade there, so he's not going to have a little bit of health when it comes to his lane base, but he has biscuits, so it's just fine for now, but we'll have to see if it's going to be fine for it a little bit later. Jimothy Halbert is in the area, so looking for a gank. He has ulti available, so we'll have to be on the lookout. See if he does fall through.
Wolfie not on that level 6 marker just yet. Just dings it now. Pops the depth charge onto Anime Nonstop. Anime Nonstop pops the final hours, looking to get himself safe. Dodges out from the Q from Jimothy Halpert. And a good knockback is going to keep Broken System in the fight. Jimothy Halpert picks that one up for free.
Yeah, really nicely done. We did see that he was holding on to that ulti from Jimothy, waiting for the ulti to pop out, or even if Ariana Grande was able to get enough feathers on top of Broken System before he finishes the ulti, get the root off so he cancels. But in any case there, Jimothy going to be using the ulti, like, he was holding it for reserve, so it was really well played on that end. Like, potentially it could have been a really good play if he was able to still reserve that for yet another gank, but using it right there, perfectly fine as well. Even better, honestly, since they guaranteed that kill over in the broken system.
Yeah, definitely just needing the gold there. But in response, seeing that bot side gank, it looks like Goon Gang is going to try and take this Rift Herald. Donkey Cheeks has rotated over, maybe looking just for a cheeky steal with Q, but the smite lands from Luke, and they are going to be able to pick that one up.
Yeah, Alien Boy gonna have to back up a little bit here, especially if we're looking to drop this Rift Herald top lane, if we try to make a little something happen. They can't go for a tower dive, because I would not recommend tower diving at Tom Kench here, especially with Jimmy Halbert in the area. But, I mean, if we can get 3 plates off here, potentially, looks like Jimmy Halbert is going to be preventing at the very least 3 plates. Just going to guarantee the 2 right here. There it is. Actually, pretty much 3, but I don't think anyone got the gold for that since no one touched the tower. So, and they got way too far away from the tower before it actually gave anyone gold. So, unfortunate that it's going to be 3 plates wasted, but top lane tower is going to be halfway chunked and able to be taken down whenever those turret plates fall in about 2 more minutes here.
Thankfully not entirely wasted, as whoever gets the Rift Herald gets a, the damage done to the tower counts as theirs, so Luke going to be able to pick up, I guess, those solo plates for himself. Good on him. But keeping that goal away from Aurelia, definitely a small win for Mingo's V2.
Okay, and then, yeah, in chat, it looks like Luke, I'm assuming that is Luke over there, Skoogie, whoever that is. Luke did confirm that he got 3 plates from that Rift, so, yeah, that is set 480 gold.
Fight in the bottom side. Both TPs burned from the side of Mingo's. They're looking to set up the 5-man. Fisher Noah does not have access to the teleport, so it's going to be a 4v5 for Goon Gang. Good engage from Broken System. Looking for the big taunt. Doesn't let go of it, and is instead just going to land it onto 1. They're going to pick out Wolfie. Good moonfall from Jimothy Halpert is going to land onto a few. Bliss looking super low. In the meantime, Broken System also being taken out. Anime Nonstop forced away. Ariana Grande looking for the ulti in. Gets the feather pulled back. Takes him out. Donkey Cheeks picking up Anime Nonstop, and that is the Dragon for Mingo's V2.
Yeah, it was looking like a really good fight over for the side of Goon Gang. I mean, honestly, the Broken System had a potential for getting a lot of people into his taunt right there. A little bit of like, you have to be a little quick on the reaction in order to get those people. But I mean, regardless, he did manage to get someone in, but unfortunately, not enough people into there. While Jimmy Halbert on the flip side was able to get a lot of people into his Moonfall, get quite a bit of damage out. The Malzahar Nethergrass did a really good job locking down that person and managed to get a kill out of that as well. Ariana Grande dishing out a lot of damage. Wolfie unfortunately died on that end, but in any case, still, his team won out that fight, and they, generated a 1k gold lead for themselves here, getting themselves into a pretty comfortable spot.
Yeah, if you're the support and you've got 100% of your team's deaths, you're not exactly uncomfortable with the state of the game. Seeing the shutdown gold on Jimothy Halpert, and we've seen positions like this from Mingo's V2 before. Ariana Grande sitting comfortably on a hyper carry ADC, really good at being able to dish out all of that damage in the team fights. Does a good job of making sure he can micromanage as much DPS as possible.
Absolutely, but we'll have to see how this game is going to be really turning out here for Mingo's V2 and Goon Gang, and how this is really going to develop further on. Just because, I mean, anything can happen here. It's not that larger gold lead here over for the side of Mingo's V2.
Oh, great look from Wolfie landing onto Anime Nonstop, and a 3-man knockup from the Death Charge. Ariana Grande picking up the kill into Anime Nonstop. Luke looking to tank up anything and get some kind of return kill. It was a great ulti from Broken System, but there's just no damage follow-up, and that is Wolfie picking up, stealing the triple kill away from Ariana Grande, but a great turnaround from Mingo's V2.
Really good turnaround there. Jimmy Halbert being in the area, using that ulti there. Bliss getting some damage off on Donkey Treats. Already have Donkey Cheeks. There we go. Already having the Liandry's Torment. So doing quite a bit of damage. Donkey Cheats also having the Liandry's as well. So going to be able to burn down quite a bit of people thanks to their Malefic Visions and Poison respectively. But we'll have to see if either of them are really at a stronger point right now. I mean, one has a kill, another one has 25 more CS. 25 more CS over a kill is definitely a little bit more gold, I would say, considering how well they are farming here. But we'll have to see how it's going to be really panning out here.
Yeah, in the meantime, a lot of our attention has been dragged away from top lane, but Alien Boy has been able to maneuver himself into these fights, gives a lot of kill and assists. But in the meantime, Fisher Noah did take down that top tier 1 turret. I did not see whether he got full plates on it, but he took down the solo turret for himself, so no matter what, it's a good amount of gold into his pocket in the meantime, along with that 30 CS lead.
Yeah, and it looks like he was able to finish up that Bladed Rune King there. Unfortunately, with the top lane tower gone, that means he doesn't necessarily want to stay in the laning phase here. We're at 15 minutes here, so that is going to be pretty comfortably into the mid game while we'll finish transitioning from early to mid game here when we're looking for
Ariana Grande in trouble. A good flash forward from Broken System. Lands the taunt, waiting out that Xayah ulti. He's ignited, he's burning down, but a great lock-in and great defense from Wolfie. Might just be able to keep him alive. No, the shutdown goal goes over to Anime Nonstop, and now Wolfie in trouble. Looks like Luke was able to pick that one up, but in the meantime, Glisk traded his life away in the mid lane. A good flash Nethergrass from Donkey Cheeks means he's guaranteed dead.
Really nice gank by Donkey Cheats there. Really good at setting it up thanks to those Nethergrass. So able to pick up a kill in return, so not losing out too much here. Still, I mean, Mingo's still in the favor by 1.4k. Well, we'll have to see how it's going to really turn out here with Goon Gang and Mingo's V2. We are evening up the turret score here at 2-2, and this one was an inner turret too. So top lane is going to have definitely a little bit more attention, and maybe even looking for yet another tower here.
But knock up by Alien Boy, gets the Devour onto Fisher Noah, taking the trade under his own tower, forcing the flash away, and Fisher Noah lands the stun. Looking for another knock-up, great sidestep by Fisher Noah, another great sidestep, dodging away a lot of the skill shots, but it looks like Tom Kinch might just be able to auto-attack Fisher Noah down, still full health, thanks to his gray health passive, and he's going to be able to walk away from that one clean.
Yeah, able to walk it out pretty well there. Nice use of the Devour in order to really keep down Fisher Noah, who was trying to disengage out of the tower. Maybe he should have stayed just to auto-type the tower down and look for a full commit. Or maybe he shouldn't have been there in the first place, so we'll have to see. But so far, you cannot bench the Kench. He is doing a great job at just being him, just with the big tanky boy doing a lot of damage for no real apparent reason, but other than Riot saying, yeah, he's a juggernaut now.
Yeah, this is a really interesting spot for the game to be in, because while Mingo's V2 definitely have the gold lead and the kill lead, and are even in turrets, it definitely feels like the momentum is heavily in the advantage of the Goon Gang, as we see them pop the Rift Herald into the mid-tier 1 tower, looking to take that one down. Good rotate from Mingo's V2 means it's not going to go down, just a bit of damage into it.
Yeah, going to be quite a bit of damage into it for now. It's Dragon taking up here, so that is 2 Dragons in favor of Mingo's. And it's going to be curious. I do agree with your statement. A lot of the momentum does feel like it's coming out of Goon Gang, just because they are able to get quite a bit out of it. They're just down on money. And, I mean, they're down on money, down on kills, down on Objectives, if you want to take in terms of the Dragons as well. But honestly, it doesn't feel like they're completely out of it either. Since, you know, they still have pretty good scaling here. I mean, Irelia really starts popping off, not just at the 1 item, but at the 2 item power spike. Looking like she will be building that Divine Sunderer next item, so where it's really going to be starting to pop it off alongside with Glisk, looking to build. Looks like it's going to be the Zhonya's Hourglass instead of the Archangel, so a lot more of the ability haste like you were talking about here, the Mythic into Zhonya's, and maybe probably a Cosmic after that as well, just going to be holding onto that tier for extra mana. And then on top of that, we see a Anime Nonstop who's playing that vein, going for a little bit more defensive. We're looking to build a second attack speed item, and maybe even looking for the IE for the third one, where, you know, 3 item power spike is going to be pretty huge in any case. So honestly, they don't seem that far out of it just yet. Like keeping up in par for like where we're at in builds.
Yeah, Glisk could definitely go into the Cosmic Drive. There is a thing with Cassiopeia where she's a snake. She can't really buy boots. We're going to have to wait on that. Ulti forced out from Ariana Grande. Fisher Noah looking for the stun. A great disengage from Wolfie. Jimothy Halper looking for his way in. Lands the Moonfall onto 2. Gets the damage onto 3. Pops the Zhonya's. Make sure he stays alive in the backside. Luke looking to be the front liner. Jimothy Halper looking for the dive onto Anime Nonstop. In the meantime, Glisk is taken out. Double kill given over to Fisher Noah. Ariana Grande looking to chase down Anime Nonstop with Alien Boy. But in the meantime, Fisher Noah is running a train on the backline. A triple kill given over to him. In the meantime, Ariana Grande and Anime Nonstop fighting it out of the backline. Good feather pullback from Ariana Grande. A quadra kill given over to Fisher Noah. Given the penta. Let the Aurelia let her out. Luke can't get it over. That is the pentakill for Fisher Noah.
I hate you, but in real in real sense, real congratulations on the pentakill right there. I will say I still hate Aurelius, but in any case, congratulations. Really well played from Fisher Noah on that end. Did a really good job dealing a lot of damage here. He was currently 0-1, not really having too much other than the Lyrian King there, but really nicely done team fight there. Only things I really want to point out there, Evan Nonstop doing a lot of damage, but unfortunately getting 1v1 by Ariana Grande thanks to just the positioning from Ariana Grande, really making sure is like you're going to be in line of my feathers. When I pull E, you're just going to die. But Fish and Noah doing a really good job staying, like, dodging a lot of this CC. Didn't get caught up in the Moonfall by Jimmy Albert. Didn't get hit by any of the Alien Boys. The probably still called Abyssal Voyages. I didn't really check ever since the rework, but probably still Abyssal Voyages. Yep. Didn't get hit by any of those. And even didn't even get hit by the Devourer. Someone else ate the Devourer while Fish and Noah was running a train over on everyone else. And I think that team fight was a little bit too broken up by Mingles V2 right there. They were trying to dive right in really hard. You saw Jimmy Salbert. He was in the team, but he didn't necessarily get a really great ulti. He had two people with that, and then the post-Moonfall parts only hit one person. He went Zonia, so he couldn't necessarily do out the damage, but he kept going back in. Alien Boy was in there as well, but Ariana was a little bit busy dealing with the front line. Managed to make his way through the back, while Irelia was just running a train on everyone else.
Yeah, Fisher Noah, first 5 kills of the game are a pentakill for him. Congratulations. But I do have to say, I think he piloted that fight really well, managing to dodge out not only the Nether Grasp, but also the Depth Charge, the Moonfall, all of these really important crowd control abilities. He was able to maneuver himself around the team fight, keep himself alive with the lifesteal on that Blade of the Ruined King, pick himself up the pentakill in very stylish fashion.
Absolutely. But I will note that he has painted a target on his back right now. I mean, pentakill, first 5 kills was a pentakill, and now he built another item. I'm sure this Nether Grass definitely has your name written on it, so I'm hoping that you're going to build a QSS sometime soon, at least after this next team fight, where I'm hoping they are going to be targeting you a little bit harder.
Sitting on 650 gold to shut down Timothy Halper, looking for his way in, blows up Anime non-stop, pops the shield bow, good Zonias means he's going to dodge it out, but Fisher Noah, here he goes again, there goes the Nether Grasp on top of him, he's going to be locked up for a little while, but where's the follow-up damage? Fisher Noah is still above half HP, he's going to be able to lifesteal it out, and in the meantime, Anime non-stop didn't get one shot, so he's going to be able to take this team fight out, kept himself alive with the Immortal Shield Bow, and that is a clean ace team fight win for the Goon Gang.
Back-to-back aces. Gold lead clearly has swung over for the side of Goon Gang there. We're seeing a 400 gold lead, or 4,000 gold lead, my apologies, on that end. And after this Drake, we're looking straight to go for the Baron. We definitely have the damage to do that. Fisher knowing going over for the mid lane. Knowing it's like, we have Caspian, we have Vayne, we don't need me over at the Baron in order to do that, especially with everyone dead. So, going to push out that mid lane before we go ahead and rotate on over, and then probably all taking it back here. I'm sure everyone's sitting on a lot of gold after that secondary ace that Goon Gang was able to acquire from that end. Or maybe we're even going to be looking for try to get yet another push off instead. Maybe a little bit of staggering our Bex though.
Looks like they're just going to be looking to pick up any of the extra CS in the top side of the Mingo's jungle, just deny as much gold as possible. I do have to say, really well piloted team fight from the Goon Gang. I really liked what Broken System was doing there. Lots of disruption, making sure Timothy Halpert didn't have free dive onto Anime Nonstop. I like the tech into Shirelia's as opposed to the standard Locket. It's allowed Anime Nonstop and Fisher Noah to really have much more access in these team fights. The extra movement speed, even just from the active itself, as he can't really shield his teammates outside of his ultimate. Even just using that active to make sure that Anime Nonstop can get away from Timothy Halpert, that Fisher Noah has the movement speed to dive onto that backline, or even that Glisk without boots, because he's Cassiopeia, he's a snake, he can't build boots. They have the ability to maneuver in these team fights and get themselves into the proper positioning. And against champions like Diana, like Nautilus, like Xayah, positioning is incredibly important.
Yeah, absolutely. But, and one thing to note right there, I mean, Donkey Cheats, he landed the Nether Grass over onto Irelia, got a lot of damage off, but not, I mean, it was just him by himself. I don't think he even had his Malefic Visions and his little goons attacking Fisher Noah there, so he was really relying on all of his teammates to do all of that damage, but unfortunately, Araganda was a little distracted dealing with the other members, so looks like we're not exactly on the same page. It's like, hey, Fisher Noah, He's a threat. He's at 3 items right now. I just finished my 2nd item here. We really got to focus him down. So hopefully in the next team fight coming up here, we're looking to really pick out Fisher Noah or some of these other sort of carries here and focus up. Make sure we're hitting the same target and make sure that like we're going to knock them down one by one and not try to knock them all simultaneously lower at the same time.
Yeah, especially considering he's now sitting on the maximum shutdown gold. 700 extra gold on top of the 300 kill. Whoever picks up that kill gets 1,000 extra gold into their pocket. Definitely painting a target on his back. Still like USS, but now has the Stair Axe. Definitely a lot more defensive item purchase. Going to keep him a lot safer, as it looks like the Goon Gang is just going to siege down this mid-tier 2. Ariana Grande gets caught up by the pillar, forced to use that feather dance. Never can remember the name of that ultimate.
Feather Storm, I want to say. We can just look it up right here. Feather Storm.
Yes, Feather Storm. Forced to use the Feather Storm away. Good use of the pillars. Luke really been on top of these pillars in this game, making sure Ariana Grande has to play back, has to play that defensive marksman style. Another good pillar to force the spell shield away from Donkey Cheeks. And it looks like the Goon Gang is just happy to continue this siege and keep swinging their gold lead down this mid lane. Maybe try and just take this tower out.
Yeah, they are looking to really get some value out of this Baron buff right here. They're even sending Gliss over in the bot lane to get some of these extra minions pushing out. I would like to see if maybe Fisher Noah does split off a little bit, but maybe he knows that it's like, you know, on such a target, he can pull in, he'll probably at least pull in Donkey Cheats and then maybe one other DPS for a person in order to deal with him. But on that end, you know, you're pulling 2 people away to allow your mid lane siege go a little bit stronger. So a little curious about not necessarily doing that, but Baron buff is gone right now, and can't really look for that getting that max value out of this Baron buff anymore.
Second Stone Gaze from Cassio dodged away. Good maneuvering by Donkey Cheeks to keep himself just outside of that threat range. A little unlucky from Gliss the last time he went for it. Both Timothy Halper and Donkey Cheeks stepping away from it. Good positioning by them. But so far, yeah, it is just Goon Gang now swinging their momentum that they had about 5-10 minutes ago, really pushing it into a gold lead, sitting about 6,000 ahead. Both teams sitting on 2 dragons, but with 3 towers in the lead, it looks like Goon Gang is going to be able to just set up around this dragon, pick up their 3rd of the game, look to set themselves up for the soul, and with Baron not spawning for another 2 minutes, they won't even have to do any sort of trade, any sort of confusing vision play. They're just going to be able to pick it up straight up and get ready to position themselves around that Baron buff.
Yeah, they are looking for that. It's going to be something I do want to note is that every single person over on the Mingos V2 have bought some sort of Grievous Wounds. One person so far has the fully completed 60% Grievous Wounds item, while everyone else is walking the 40% just basic Grievous Wounds, which is nice. I don't think everyone necessarily needs to, just because Grievous Wounds items don't feel the greatest in order to build. Yeah, they're cheap, they're good stats, but they're not like, they don't have anything that you are super excited about whenever you have to build it. So I would have liked to see maybe if Zaya, instead of opting in buying that Execution Calling for 800 gold, maybe we, you know, try to build that agility cloak for a little bit extra sort of thing, or even to have the money to pickaxe.
They're looking for the engage. Luke getting in. Great. Aurelia all in. Lithic Visions, there's the crowd control, but with the Sterax shield, it is going to be shut down gold. Give it over to Ariana Grande. In the meantime, Glisk is going to be able to pick up Jimothy Halpert. Wolfie going down, a double kill over for him. Anime nonstop now, free firing on the back line. That's the problem with focus down on the Aurelia. Now everybody else gets to free fire. Glisk looking to pick him up for a triple kill. Anime nonstop flashing forward to pick himself up a double kill. Another ace for the Goon Gang, only losing Fisher Noah in the process.
Yeah, Bounty going down over for Ariana Grande, which is great to see there, but still, another ace means that this is going to be at least an inhibitor tower going down here. They have minions to keep on going.
They
for
might
this
just
push
look for
as
the
well.
end.
Yeah, they could very much go for the end there. They have 2 pretty good auto-attacking sort of people, but they're going to just go ahead and back off to cut their losses. Maybe even grab this top lane tower before going ahead and grabbing Baron buff to ensure that their next push is even more potent. So, I mean, honestly, with this play, I do like it a little bit more. It's safer. You don't have to worry about Jimmy Halbert maybe getting a miracle Moonfall play while you guys are busy taking down the towers. So I like it a little bit safer, and then you guys can grab your resets, grab a couple good items, and look for just your finishing blow over to Mingos V2.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the safer play. Taking out the inhibitor mid lane, at this point, late enough in the game that within 5 minutes, you're probably going to be finishing the game. So the golden XP given over by that not going to be very detrimental at all. Opening up that top lane inhibitor just to make sure if they do get that push, that's a free lane for them to push down, take the Nexus towers away from. Yeah, this game is looking like it's looking like it's Goon Gang all the way. Fisher Noah did give up that 1,000 gold shutdown over to Ariana Grande, which for the Mingos, that's exactly where they want it to be, but it might just be too little too late at this point. As we saw in that fight, Glisk and Anime Nonstop were able to just free fire with all of these abilities and auto attacks flying left and right. They were able to output so much DPS. Alien Boy not tanky enough to handle both Vayne and Cassio, the consistent stream of DPS coming at him.
No. And now we're going to see with Baron buff opinions, it looks like we are going to be setting up that 3-lane sort of push here. Really getting a lot of value out of this Baron buff. And I like what they're doing here with Donkey Treats and Ariana Grande responding to Fisher Noah. One really good DPSer and then one that can lock them down really hard. Looks like Ariana Grande with that shutdown was able to finish up the Infinity Edge here. So going to be doing a lot of damage on that 3-item power spike here. Really excited to see how well that's going to turn out in these team fights here. But it's still a question to see if it's going to be enough, because this is a 10k gold lead over in favor of Goon Gang here, and the fight's going to be breaking out potentially.
Subjugate goes down onto Alien Boy. Luke looking for his way in. Tiny Tom Kench forced to walk away. Another great pillar forcing Ariana Grande. He's just been hitting these pillars all game. Wolfie taunted up. He's going to be taken down. A great Moonfall is going to take out Luke. But now with the Condemn and Anime Nonstop looking to be much safer in these fights. Donkey Cheeks getting to Nethergrasp onto Glisk, but a triple kill from Anime Nonstop. Give him the Quadra. Are we going to see a second Penta of the game? Give it to Anime Nonstop. Donkey Cheeks running away, looking for the teleport. Are they going to give it over to him? The Penta kill for Anime Nonstop. 2 Penta kills in one game, and the game given over to Goon Gangs.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be the Goon Gang taking it out here. It's going to be the end of the game here. So, really excited to see. Really well done there from the Goon Gang, picking up 2 pentakills on that front. It'll pick up and win out this game. So, congratulations. Like, for the middle of the pack, it looks like the Goon Gang is going to be rising above Mingles B2 and bringing themselves up to 2-1. Really excited to see that. So, congratulations on that front. You have anything to say on that?
Super well played from, I think, both Mingos and the Goon Gang. It was really definitely a close game for a large portion of that. Mingos had the gold lead. I do have to point out, the only 5 kills that Fisher Noah got through that entire game was that pentakill. I don't know if that means anything for him in team fights, but I think it's funny to point out.
Very funny indeed. So congratulations to the teams here. That's going to be the stream today because our series of the week has been decided. We look over at the voting over where I posted in stream, and now I polled you guys to see what games you want to watch, and you said it's going to be Rankings versus Rivals. So on Friday, we're going to be doing the full series of those guys and seeing how that turned out. In any case, we're going to be done or finished up here. So I've been Let's Go Dragon, you've been What Too Pretty, and we're going to be signing off. So bye-bye.
You all take care.